Greetings, my beautiful lovelies, and happy holidays. It's Emmy. Welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the food delivery service that brings pre-measured ingredients and step-by-step instructions right to your doorstep. It makes making homemade meals a reality. So HelloFresh starts at $5.66 per serving, and it's a great way to get out of dinner recipe ruts. And every week you can choose from over 20 different chef-curated seasonal recipes. And HelloFresh is flexible. You can order extras like cookie dough or garlic bread, or if you need to change your delivery dates, or if you'd like to skip a week. It's super easy and simple. So this week my family enjoyed the creamy, dreamy mushroom cavatappi. To get started with 9 free meals or $90 off your first month of HelloFresh, click the link down below or go to hellofresh.com and use the code emmymade9. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Now today I'm going to be attempting a retro recipe. It is for a frozen Yule log. Many of you have gotten in touch with me via social media to attempt this recipe. Thank you so much for bringing it to my attention because it is quite the number. If you've missed my other retro recipe tests, be sure to check out the playlist. I'll put it up above and down below. This would also be an excellent time to subscribe. So this recipe is of a Yule log. Now it's almost the holidays here and Yule logs are quite popular, and they are essentially traditionally a kind of sponge cake that is nice like on a jelly roll, and it's filled with some kind of cream or whipped cream, and it's rolled so you get a nice cylinder, and then it's decorated to look like a Yule log, a Christmas log, and sometimes it's decorated with little meringue mushrooms. Super cute. This particular recipe is a 1970s take on the Yule log. It consists of sliced canned pineapple rings that are encased in combination of whipped cream, almonds, candied cherries, all that sounds fine, and a cup of Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip calls itself a salad dressing. It's very similar to mayonnaise in consistency and color, but it is quite sweet. So many people use it in the same way they would use mayonnaise if they're making tuna fish salad, egg salad, something like that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. In a large bowl, you're going to combine 1 cup of Miracle Whip, along with your 1/4 cup of reserve syrup. Whip that up until you get this nice vinegary pineapple-y smell. And then you're going to take some cherries. These are candied cherries. They are kind of amazing in color. I mean, how do you get cherries to look this green color? Do you bleach them first? Because cherries do have a color, but they are not acid green. So what do they do exactly to get this green color? I'm not sure. I think they have to bleach them and then re-soak them in food coloring and corn syrup to get them candied. I don't know. If you are a candied cherry expert, let me know. I am truly fascinated about this. At any rate, I got some green and red cherries, and you're going to quarter these. You're going to add those to your Miracle Whip and pineapple mixture, along with 2/3 of a cup of slivered almonds. Before you add your almonds, you want to toast them up so they have a nice golden color and a lovely nutty flavor. This all together, along with 1/4 cup of honey, a little extra sweetness. Now you're going to add 2 cups of whipped cream or whipped topping. Gently fold this in. You don't want to overwork this. You want to keep things fluffy. So the recipe calls for a 2-pound coffee can. Now when I went to the grocery store, many of the coffee cans nowadays, they're still made out of metal, but they're squat. They're more kind of fat and look more like a drum rather than being kind of cylindrical and long. We want this to look like a Yule log, and I wanted a taller can. So I actually had a hard time finding one, but then when I looked in my pantry, I had this can of purple yam powder. I said, perfect. Next, we're going to take our whipped cream mixture, place them in the bottom of our clean can, and then press a whole pineapple ring into it. Give it a nice press and smooth it out. We want to try to work out any air pockets. Then we're going to alternate between our whipped cream mixture, pineapple, whipped cream mixture, pineapple. Stack, stack, stack all the way to the top of our can. So once we have our can full of goodness, we're going to pop this into the freezer and allow it to kind of chill up. Here is my frozen can of whipped goodness. I'm going to invert it. So get yourself a can opener. You want to make sure this can opener is the type that cuts the lid on the inside of the rim. Cut this all the way around. And next I'm going to take an offset spatula and go around the perimeter. I'm going to do that on this side too. Now the recipe says to take a wet, warmed cloth. So I'm going to use a heating pad and then just heat this up a bit. so that we can unmold it. I'm gonna spread out some almonds. Toast your nuts. Toast your nuts. They're so much better that way. Alrighty, now we're gonna poop this thing out. Ready? Here we go. Oh, yes. Yes, come on, girl. You got it. Push. Yes, yes. Okay, gently remove that. Now we're gonna take our almonds, cover this whole log. Press them in there. After I do this to the outside, I'm gonna place this back in the freezer just to allow everything to set up a bit. Alrighty, so here it is. It's looking pretty gnarly. The thing is, how do we transfer this to this without... Okay, I'm just gonna use my hands. Here we go. Boom. Gotta be fearless. We decorate this with some pine boughs clipped from my Christmas tree. There we go. Alrighty, so now we're gonna do our best to slice this and see how successful we are in getting a nice slice. Here we go. Using a serrated bread knife. It's frozen pretty solid. How do they do this without messing it up? I don't know. Here we go. Oh man, I had some structural loss here at the bottom, but I'm gonna doctor that up. All right, my lovelies, it turned out. I'm so happy, yay! So my biggest concern was that this was not gonna be sliceable, and if I did slice it, I wouldn't get a clean cut. But this surprised me. This froze pretty solidly, and when I actually did slice through the pineapple, it did show up nicely. I thought I was gonna get like a slice of whipped cream stuff rather than getting the nice ring to show up. Now let's give this a taste, shall we? All right, here we go. So this is a frozen dessert. Let's make sure we get a bite of everything. Here we go. Happy holidays. Itadakimasu. The nuts add a nice crunchy counterpoint to the kind of frozen, almost sorbet-like quality of this. The pineapple is frozen, but it's not frozen solid. So it's a little bit like a sorbet. It's a little bit icy. And then you get the crunchy nut, which is nice because it's a different kind of crunchy texture. The flavor is interesting. It's like an ambrosia salad. If you ever had those kind of whipped cream fruit salads, it's like that. But there's a little punch of saltiness in it and just a tiny little bit of vinegariness. Just a tiny, tiny bit. It's actually not bad, especially if you grew up eating salads like this. I think you would love this. The little bit of salt that the Miracle Whip adds to this is actually nice because you've got a lot of sweetness from the whipped topping, from the canned pineapple, and of course those candied cherries. When I was mixing this initially with the Miracle Whip, I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be wild because it had that very strong kind of vinegary salad dressing smell to it. But it's really less noticeable now that it's been frozen, and the canned pineapple in this dessert actually works. I'm really surprised by that. It cuts some of the sweetness in the dessert because it's pineapple. It's singy, it's got some acidity to it, and then you've got the Miracle Whip in there too. All right, let's have a candied cherry. In this dessert, I really don't taste any cherry flavor at all. The candied cherries just add more sweetness and a slightly gummy texture to it all. So I would say between the toasted almonds and the frozen pineapple rings, this retro recipe actually works. So if you're hosting a fun party, you might actually want to attempt to make this because look, it's a showstopper. I mean, come on. Alrighty, so there you have it. Another retro recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you guys so much for watching, and big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Get 9 free meals, that's $90 off your first month of HelloFresh by heading over to HelloFresh.com and using the code emmymade9. Thanks again for watching, happy holidays, and yeah, please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! This could be a new candle scent, Pine Fresh Miracle Whip.